So we want to start tonight with a growing problem in the NFL that is mirroring what we are seeing here in Western New York and around the country, a spike in COVID cases.
Really has fans concerned that key games in the playoff race could be in danger as we head now into the final few weeks of the season. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports that between Monday and Tuesday of this week, the NFL had 75 players test positive for COVID. That number went up again today when the hardest hit team, the Browns, got positive test results for their starting quarterback and head coach.
So Cleveland has now lost 18 players to the COVID list since Monday, and they've got a game on Saturday against the Raiders that actually matters a lot for the Bills' playoff hopes. The NFL says there's no talk of canceling the game right now. But this isn't just the Browns. Washington also has 18 players on the list. The Rams have 16, and there are now 7 teams under the league's enhanced COVID protocols because of their cases. So we asked two On Your Side Bills insider Vic Carucci what the league can do here, especially if there are more cases at one Bills drive.
The league is always walking a fine line between the massive revenue that comes from the television networks and being competitive on the field, having a good product. So if it comes down to sacrificing the product to the point where you can't field a team, well, yes, then I think they would go to the drastic measure of postponement. But they're going to do everything possible to keep the trains on schedule, to make sure the game is played as it is designed to play on a Saturday, with a big audience expected for that game and the other game on the Saturday doubleheader. So you will see the league do everything possible to get the game played, even if one team is dealing with a mass amount of COVID problems.
And this story is really developing by the minute, so we'll keep you posted. One thing that the league is doing now, though, is requiring all coaches and staff to get a booster shot by December 27th. As of now, that requirement does not apply to the players, and Vic says that's because any agreement there would have to be with the union. They have collective bargaining. That would be a lot bigger challenge if they decided to go that route.
And that union, by the way, put out a statement today blaming the league for, quote, taking away a critical weapon in the fight against COVID, daily testing. The players' union called for it months ago so COVID wouldn't spread in a team facility for days before anyone knew it was even there. And it says it's talking with the league now about making changes, quote, so that we can complete the season. That language there, a sign of just how seriously they're taking this.
Yeah, and again, stay tuned as we keep you posted on all of that. Well, right now we want to turn to the statewide mask mandate that's been in effect here since Monday. Plenty of controversy, a couple of dozen counties across the state refusing to enforce it. Wyoming County joined that list today. But
most are, and that's led to plenty of questions that we wanted to get some legal perspective on. So we talked today with attorney Jim Grasso from the Phillips Lytle law firm. We started by asking, what is required of businesses in terms of enforcement?
I don't know how much the state is expecting them to be the police, but the burden is on the employer or the business to enforce the mask mandate. So, if they see a patron come in without a mask or not wearing a mask, I think they're going to be expected to, remind the patron to put a mask on. But I don't think they're going to be expected, to forcibly eject the patron, as long as they make some reasonable effort to remind people, such as having signs up. I think they're going to be okay.
And then there are questions that we've gotten from several viewers, including this that was posted on Twitter. Why is it exactly that there is no actual mask mandate, as Governor Kathy Hochul has not signed an executive order and no power to do so? So is it true that there's been no executive order specifying the mask mandate? Grasso says, that's not where the mandate actually comes from.
The state didn't do a particularly good job in explaining how it was going to be enacted, but the governor made this announcement, but they went through the procedure. There's a health regulation in place that gives the commissioner of health the authority to issue a mask mandate when the commissioner determines that it's in the public health interest. And so that's what the commissioner has done here. They've actually gone ahead, and there's a separate Department of Health directive that's been issued.
So Mr. Grasso says even though there's no executive order, there is a legal mandate in place from the state health department, though again, some counties are saying they're just not going to enforce it.
So one of the big questions that we've been hearing ever since the Omicron variant surfaced was, will we need booster shots to specifically deal with that mutation? The good news tonight is that it looks more and more likely that the answer is no.
Now, White House medical advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci says that as of now, the boosters that are already available handle Omicron just fine.
Our booster vaccine regimens work against Omicron. At this point, there is no need for a variant-specific booster. And so the message remains clear. If you are unvaccinated, get vaccinated, and particularly in the arena of Omicron, if you are fully vaccinated, get your booster shot.
Now, the CDC is also pushing people to get boosters, saying that the percentage of cases here in the United States caused by Omicron is rising sharply and could be a sign of this big surge that may get here next month. They say that it could account for 1 of every 8 cases here in New York State right now. Well, it is hard to believe that we're just 18 days away from 2022 and still talking about COVID every day, but certainly a lot has changed since we first had the conversation in March of 2020 and even 1 year ago today.
2 on Your Side's Danielle Church walks us through it.
December 15th, 2020, the holidays were once again on the way, but traditions were adjusted. Many couldn't go spend them with the people they loved the most unless it was over a screen. And large gatherings were unheard of, so you could forget holiday markets, attending Bills games, or even crossing the border into Canada. All of them side effects of a very unconventional year due to COVID. While a mask mandate and social distancing rules were in effect, some hope finally came before a new year.
But now we can actually see it with our own eyes. Western New Yorkers actually getting the coronavirus vaccine, not widespread yet.
Pfizer getting emergency authorization from the FDA for a first dose of the COVID vaccine, given first to health professionals in Western New York. The first in the region to get the shot was Sean Koval, a nurse at Buffalo General.
Done. First shot. Yay!
But the first to get it at Roswell Park was Dr. Philip McCarthy, who's also a cancer survivor.
I look back, I'm very grateful. It was very important, not just for our patients, but also for one of my family members to be protected from me getting COVID-19. And I'm grateful that I had that opportunity. I wish we were in a little better situation.
December 13th, 2020, there were 520 people hospitalized with COVID. Flash forward to December 13th, 2021, 517 people were hospitalized with COVID. And now 67.5% of Western New Yorkers are fully vaccinated, with the conversation now largely revolving around getting the booster shot through Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson. The holidays are back, and a screen isn't the only way we will see those who we love the most. Large gatherings like holiday markets and even a full Highmark Stadium are back, but so are masks indoors full time. That's unless you have proof of your vaccine, with a rising number of businesses following suit. It's a reflection of those COVID numbers we have similar to last year. Americans can even cross over the Canadian border again if they're vaccinated and get a COVID test. 2020 is already behind us, and soon we will say the same for 2021. Still, herd immunity has not been reached. Hopefully by December 15th, 2022, we will get some more hope before another new year and put COVID behind us too.
And a year ago, we were just talking about how the Moderna shots were being evaluated by the FDA and waiting for those also to get approval, as well as the J&J shot, with certain groups only being able to get them at a time. We also can remember just how hard it was for some people to even find an appointment available online. And there, of course, was no Delta or Omicron variant a year ago either, guys.
Yeah, so steps forward and steps back. And Danielle, aside from the variants and the vaccines, we may not realize that a lot has also actually changed with the ways that we can now treat COVID as well.
That's right, Kate. Just yesterday, Pfizer announced its pill to treat COVID has been effective against the Omicron variant. That's after the company did a study which involved 2,250 people. Pfizer officials say the pill reduced hospitalizations and deaths by almost 89% for high-risk adults. The FDA is expected to either choose to authorize or not authorize Pfizer's pill soon. They will also make a decision on a competing pill by the company Merck. That one has only reduced hospitalizations and deaths by 30% in high-risk adults. And if authorized, these would become the first pills to be used as a treatment for COVID. And it would be just as easy as going to your pharmacy and taking them home.
Yeah, really could be a game changer. Danielle Church reporting tonight. Danielle, thank you.
Next on the town hall, New York has been offering a lot of vaccine incentives over the last year, and registration for the latest one opened up today, targeted at skiers and snowboarders. For the next 6 weeks, New Yorkers 16 and older who get their boosters, or kids 5 to 11 who get at least one dose of the vaccine by February 7th of next year, can enter a random drawing for free lift tickets.
Here in the Western New York region, those free lift tickets will be for Holiday Valley. That's the only place in our region. We have more of this information posted right now at WGRZ.com.